Rib flare. The ribs internally and externally rotate they're designed to, at least when we breathe, just as the pelvis is designed to have this little bit of internal and external rotation. That's the design. We get stuck sitting in chairs, things get glopped together. Even more so, we're living in a culture with so many chemicals that a lot of us, including me, don't have breathing integrity. We don't necessarily have the suction of our tongue to the roof of our mouth in our resting position. So we're a little at a loss for pressure, so we're using superficial muscles to try to get the breath in. I know I had a breakthrough when someone explained to me that this position of the rib cage, which is basically opening, and then even more so that it's open and jammed forward, really helped me start to understand from inside my primal movement practice what strategies to use to improve the most important pressure system. We're breathing 22,000 times a day. When we're in an emergency, we go into kind of protective mode. Our shoulders come up towards our ears, that's guarding our neck. And if we need to take deep breaths, we're arching and tucking, arching the rib cage and then arching and tucking here. So we can look at someone's body as whether they're stuck in a particular state. Like this is someone who's stuck trying extra hard to get an inhale. It might be simply that they don't have the pressure here for an easy nasal inhale that's reflexive from a deep exhale. It might be that their body has been so scrunched that they're very exhalation focused. These people are not rib flares, but here, a true rib flare is somewhat a combination. The pelvis is a little tucked from sitting in the chairs, and then to sit upright, we arch our back and the ribs get jammed kind of forward. And we have a propensity towards this rib external rotation then. So what are we to do about this? Well, one related thing is this affects the rhythm of the internal and external rotation of our pelvis. And so at the first level, let's get rid of the idea that the ribs are a cage. So we know that these bones respond to the tension of the fascia and most of all, the pressure, the master pressure system of breath. The second thing is know that when you're doing anything new or you're somewhat distracted looking, where's my foot, where's my whatever, that little bit of that emergency system might turn on, especially if that's the norm. So expecting that either a hips forward tail tuck rib jam is going to happen somewhere in any new position. Like if I'm doing rockers and I'm a little stressed, I might be tucked and unable to get into my backside, and then I might make up for that by jamming in my middle back. So this is one of the keys to this practice, is we're always moving into true support lower down. So as instead of having no arch way down here as the ribs, as we get a nice exhale, the ribs shift in and back. The exhale helps the ribs knit back together. The front surface becomes longer, then the tailbone or the pubic bone can move back and down. So as we make more space down here, then we make space for the ribs to fully finish that exhale, which then makes space for an authentic inhale. So the top thing I'm looking for is in a pose, in a hinge, in a tummy time, I'm expecting me and every other front chain dominant rib flaring person is going to overuse their mid back, not use the lower back for that teeny tiny untuck, and not use enough for their upper back. So inside poses, I like this idea of even rounding out this section so that I can have an authentic support above and authentic support below. And it could be like breathing at the end of the day, our everyday postures at the end of the day. This is a confluence of many things. Oral posture. When I first started doing primal posture, I got this idea of hips back. A lot of people will try to stick their hips back from here. My hips are not going back. I've just got a fake arch, a fake butt here. In fact, I've got very little lumbar curve. I've got all this thoracic, thoracolumbar curve and this heavy compression right where I need to breathe the most. So what we want is an authentic glute-based arch that's way down low, right at the top of the sacrum. We want to get this strength right here, authentic. For some people like me, I have to shift my ribs back so that then I also have this platform for going up and back with my upper back. The other thing is when I was doing primal posture, besides thinking, oh, I'm sticking my butt out, which was just stressing my back, the other mistake I made was I was just like, oh, down with the ribs. And I ended up like hunching up here. So it's really this back in and up feeling through this part of my spine so that the whole thing is getting integrated. And then we have an authentic arch way down low instead of fake arch here. Fake. And this practice, guys, the hinging, because people don't get far enough back and because they don't yet have enough space in the glutes, the hinging is very likely a place some of this will show up. And finally, side bending curves. You see how if this shoulder knows how to come back and down, and this hip knows how to also do a side bending curve, side bending twist. This is authentically and deeply wrapping these bony tissues in safety. Think about how unsafe it is when these bones are sticking out and someone falls. I have had several rib cracks, and they're not good. Why I say that is this practice inherently, as we get these side bending turns, we get these drop-ins, side bending turns. The deep solution to this problem is also on another level, besides watching out for where our pelvis is tucked a little and we arch our backs, besides watching out for our nasal and tongue posture. The other thing is get super excited about primal locomotion as a way to really wrap these ribs back into a place of safety, and especially decompression breathing, those extended longest, softest, longest exhales. Bring the ribs back into a place of safety. There's no weird emergency crunching and emergency arching. Bye.